Oh, hey there. Welcome to episode 2 of Frommy Flay's Kitchen. So glad you could join me, because this week we're going to be making a healthy alternative to spaghetti and meatballs. First things first, instead of spaghetti, we're going to use spaghetti squash. I know a lot of you probably thinking, I've never cut a spaghetti squash. How do I even start? Good thing you came to me, because all you're going to need here is 2 different size knives. A small knife, a big knife. I'll show you exactly why. All you're going to do with a small knife is make little indentations away from your hand. So, give it a little poke. A little poke, a little poke. And then you flip it around. Do the same thing on that side, and then flip it over and do it on the other side as well. Now, you take the bigger knife where the seam is. Do the same thing. Keep your hand away from the blade. Keep it on the opposite side. Do the same thing on the other side, bring it down. One more slam. You got yourself a spaghetti squash. This next part's really easy. All you gotta do is scoop out all the insides here, all the seeds, make sure those are all gone. And you're probably thinking, Tom, how the hell is this gonna be spaghetti? Well, I'll show you in just a minute. The next step, once you got it completely gutted there like that, we're going to season it.
Time to pop the spaghetti squash in.
And another tip that I always like to do whenever I'm cooking is have a nice cold beverage. And when I'm making Italian food, it might as well be a Peroni. Hey, Frommy Flay, what are you cooking up there? I smell something good. Yeah, I'm making spaghetti squash and meatballs. Squash and meatballs? But what did they do to you? No, spaghetti squash and meatballs. But what did they do to you? You gotta go to the eyes, ears, nose, and throat department and get your hearing checked. Alright, so next up is the meatballs. I'm keeping them healthy this time around. Usually use like ground beef, maybe some pork, but we're going with turkey meatballs to keep it on the healthy side. So all you're gonna need is your ground turkey, a little bit of minced garlic. You can just buy it minced already or chop it up, however you wanna do it. Some olive oil, a little Worcestershire. Oh, sure I know Baggins. Frotto Baggins, he's right over there. A little parsley flakes, some Parmesan, and Romano cheese, some breadcrumbs, a couple eggs to hold it all together. Let's get started. All right, so this is my favorite part. Turning everything into the meatballs onto the pan before we get it into the oven. All right, now onto the sauce. I'm not Italian, so I'm just gonna go with store-bought. I know what you're thinking. Hey! Hey! But I'm still going to add the mushrooms and onions and a little bit of the Calabrian chilies that you may have seen on Beat Bobby Flay. Something I always like to add to my sauce is bay leaves. Personally, I hate it when bay leaves. I always want her to stay. One of the other great parts of making spaghetti squash is you don't need a strainer. this is the best part about making spaghetti squash, because all we're gonna do here, make sure the oil gets all over. It's gonna be pretty hot, so just watch out for that. You want everything to be a little bit soaked so that when you go ahead and stir it, just easily comes off and just turns into spaghetti. Having a little bit of the finished product here, and I know what you're thinking. You know, it may look the same, but I can tell the difference. Well, I can tell the difference between fat and skinny too. I've been both. I choose skinny. It's not that bad. And if you want to change out the spaghetti squash for real noodles, that's fine, and still do the turkey. Or if you want to change out the turkey for other meat, that's on you as well. But in terms of this, that tastes like a classic. Frommy Flay, I'm out.